First impression reviews of products don't always tell the full story. And so if you've ever wondered what happens to a product after I do a review on it, and whether I keep using it or not, then this video is for you, because I am going to be doing updated speed reviews of all of the makeup and skincare that I've purchased in 2025 so far. Many of these products I've already done a dedicated review on, and for those, they will be linked down in the description box below to make it easy for you to find those. I have a lot of products here. We're going to go through them in the order that I put them on my face, and at the end, if you stick around, I have a little haul of products that have come in recently that I haven't yet had time to give a really good test on them. Some of them I haven't used at all, and others I just haven't used enough to know how I feel about them. So stick around and don't miss that. All of these products will be linked in the description box below if you want to pick them up and try them out for yourself. Most of those will be affiliate links, and if you shop through them, I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. Starting with skincare, I have two toners. This Holy Hydration Keep Your Balance toner was a free gift when I bought something back in June, and I do really like it. It has a light fragrance. It's not heavily fragrance, but there is fragrance in there. And it has hyaluronic acid, witch hazel, and aloe. I like to just splash this on my face after I cleanse before I put on the rest of my skincare. And it says that it's good for dry, oily, and combination skin. I don't find it too hydrating for my combo oily skin. However, my favorite toner is this one from Pyongyang Cool. I think I said that correct. And this is their Calming Deep Moisture Toner. I can't read anything else on here because it is in Korean. This is actually a repurchase, and you can see I've used quite a bit of that. Now, some of this is in a spray bottle because I prefer to mist my toner on versus putting it on with my fingers or a cotton pad. But I feel like this is just a really nice toner. It is hydrating, and I believe that it also has green tea in it, which is really good for your skin. And I don't smell any fragrance to speak of. So I really, really enjoy this toner. And when it's gone, I will probably repurchase it. One thing I will not repurchase is this Bright Icon Vitamin C from e.l.f. I am so glad I got this in the mini version because I used it once and I will not use it again. You can see how yellow it is, so it's actually starting to turn now. But I've had it on my vanity for quite some time, waiting to put in a review video. But it smells like hot dogs, which is really not something I want to put on my face. And it's sticky. So, like I said, I used it once, and it's not something that I will use again. This one, I'm actually just going to throw away, and I do not recommend it if you're looking for a vitamin C. Don't do this one. I repurchased the Matte Kiss 0.05% retinol cream. This is a retinaldehyde with an A. There are essentially 3 levels of retinols. The top level is the prescription strength tretinoin. Your skin is able to use that without doing any conversions. Next, you've got the retinols with an A, retinaldehyde, and those your skin has to make 1 conversion before it can use it. It tends to be less irritating. I got to where I was not able to use the prescription strength tretinoin. My skin just hated it and looked terrible all the time, which is kind of not the point. And then you have at the bottom, you have the retinols with an O, and that one your skin has to make 2 conversions to use it. And that one is the most tolerated and least likely to cause any irritation. So really, which one you use is going to depend on your skin and what it can tolerate, and your budget and what it can tolerate. This one is $28, which is actually a little more expensive than I'd like to spend for it, but I really do like it. My skin doesn't have any issues with irritation. You can see it is a yellow cream, and that is kind of the hallmark of a retinol. It does have that yellow color. It's a really nice lotion. It absorbs well and easily, and I can use it every night without getting irritation. I don't use it every night because I have other things that I want to use sometimes that I don't want to over exfoliate my skin. And sometimes I just give my skin a rest. So I really just kind of play it by ear and what I feel like my skin needs. But I typically use it about 3 times a week. And then I have 2 of my favorite moisturizers. I have the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Hydra-Gel Moisturizer. I use this one during the day. It is the perfect amount of moisture for me during the daytime. It works great under my makeup, doesn't pill up or anything like that. Plays well with my other skincare. This one is also for all skin types, dry, oily, and combo. And it has hyaluronic acid and peptides. I really like having peptides in my daytime moisturizer. So this is a lightweight moisturizer, and it just blends in really easily, soaks in quickly so that you can get on with things. You don't have to wait around for a long time for it to soak in. And it's just the perfect amount of moisture for my mature combo oily skin. If you have very dry skin it might not be enough moisture for you, especially in the winter. It might do okay in the summer, but you might need something a little more hydrating if you have very dry skin, and that will be a definite repurchase. And then the next moisturizer I have is my nighttime moisturizer, and that's the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Fragrance-Free Face Cream with hyaluronic acid and peptides. And this is just a heavier moisturizer that is great if you have drier skin, or like I use it at night and it just gives a little bit more hydration, and I wake up and my skin feels plump and hydrated, and I just really like it. And I like that it's fragrance free. So this is the last thing I put on before I go to bed. As a free gift, when I made an e.l.f. order in April, I got the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Lip Mask, and this is a kind of a blue clear gel, and it smells like blue raspberry. And it's delicious. I mean, it doesn't taste delicious, it doesn't taste like anything, but the smell is delicious. It comes with this little scoop, which I don't really like, because if I use it, I get too much. And then I either waste it or I have to end up putting a bunch back. So I'd rather just use my finger, because then I just have to wipe off my finger. I don't have to clean the spoon and my finger. I know that's really lazy, but I feel like I waste less product if I use my finger. However, the product itself, I really like. I would probably consider purchasing this. However, I really do like my Caramel that comes 3 for $9.99. And I'm not sure price-wise, like price per ounce, how that works out, which one's a better deal. So anyway, I might consider purchasing it, but if I could get it as a free gift again, I would definitely do that. And then the last step in skincare, the first step in makeup, is always an SPF for me. And right now I've been loving the Australian Gold Botanical 50 Tinted Face. This is great on my combo oily skin. I have it in the light version. It gives a matte finish. It's not greasy or glowy or anything like that. I let it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then primers, makeup, everything just goes on beautifully over the top of it. And so yeah, I'm really happy with this SPF right now and would definitely repurchase it. Moving on to primers, I repurchased my beloved Wet n Wild Hydra Depuffer. It says it's for eye and face, but I only use it on my under eyes, and I feel like it just lets my concealer glide on and not crease, and just really love it. It took me about a year to use one up completely, and I just repurchased this in July. And as long as they make it, I will continue to repurchase it. It has caffeine, vitamin E, and green tea oil, and hyaluronic acid. And I did compare this to, I think e.l.f. makes one, but theirs doesn't have the same ingredients. And I really like this. Essence, I think, has one now that I'm very interested in trying and comparing to this. I have some Essence products coming up at the end in that haul because I haven't had a chance to try them out yet. But if I can get my hands on it without like having to pay $6.95 shipping, because I don't really want to buy enough to get free shipping at Essence, anyway, I might try it out. And then I have two other primers. I have the Essence All About Blur, and today I have that on this side of my face. It says that it optically reduces fine lines and pores for an even skin for perfect makeup results. And I actually do think that I can see some blurring from this product. I think it looks really good. It kind of gives that silicone slip, but it also has a floral fragrance that I'm not sure I'm fond of. So while the product itself works okay, not crazy about the scent. And then the other primer I have that I used on this side of my face is the e.l.f. Power Grip Matte Primer. And this one does give that kind of sticky finish the way their other Power Grip primers do. And this one, rather than being glowy or hydrating, is supposed to give you a nice matte finish and help keep your makeup matte. And I do think that it does that. It also helps to grip your makeup and keep it on through the day. It doesn't say anything about blurring or pore filling or anything like that. You would need to use a pore filling primer in areas where you need it. If you use that one, this one, and I often do that. I'll put this on and then put a pore filling primer just where I need it. And I've been really happy with this. I would definitely repurchase and would recommend. And then I had one primer that I ended up not liking and returning. And that was the Maybelline Poreless Jelly Primer. And I feel like they were trying to kind of compete a little bit with the e.l.f. Power Grip primers because that was the consistency of it. But it advertises it to be poreless and pore filling or pore smoothing. And it didn't do that at all. I don't feel like it really did anything. I was just putting something on my face to be putting it on my face, but there was no visible difference when I used it or when I didn't use it. And so I returned it because I don't need a makeup product that just takes up time, space, and money. There's no point. On to foundation. I have done quite a few foundation reviews and foundation videos in the past few months. And like I said, they'll be linked down below. I have had some hits and I have had some misses in this category. Let's talk about the misses first so we can get them out of the way and end on a positive note. Now these I don't still have because I returned them. And the first one is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Blurring Skin Tint. Now the first time I got this, I got it in the shade 410 and that was too light for me. So I took that one back and got the shade 415 and I did a review of that and it was terrible on my skin. I mean, not just kind of bad, but like wash it off. I am not wearing this. Terrible. And then I tried to find ways to make it work. I tried using a lot less and just giving just a very little bit. And it dries down so fast that I couldn't really get a small amount of it to blend. And it gave me polka dot pores terribly, which was one of the problems I had with it the first time I tried it. Then I thought, well, okay, maybe it's just too thick and it needs something else to help it glide more. And so I mixed in a skin tint that I really like to see if it would just help. And then it would be a way that I could use it up and not waste it. It took a skin tint that I absolutely love and made it look terrible because I mixed it with it. And so I took it back. So I don't know if you have to have a really oily skin for it to work, because I don't think it would work on dry skin. So if you use that one and it's your favorite and you love it, let us know down in the comments. And what's your skin type? Or how do you make it work? Maybe there's just something I wasn't doing right. That's always possible. And then the other one that I had that doesn't really work for me is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint. Now I have found if I use just a very little bit of this, that I can actually wear it and it doesn't last very long, but I can wear it without looking terrible. So if I'm going to be putting on makeup like at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe for rehearsal or something, I can get use out of this, so I don't feel like I need to return it or anything like that. I will use it, but it's not going to be one that I reach for very often because it just doesn't look that great and it doesn't last. Generally, I put my makeup on in the morning and I don't want to touch it until I take it off at 9-10 o'clock at night. So a product like this that only has maybe 5 or 6 hours that it's going to look good doesn't really have a place in my collection, but I'll do what I can. Now these foundations, on the other hand, I absolutely love. The first one is the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint. This is my second bottle of this. I have the shade 112. I love it. I think it looks gorgeous on my skin, and I just did a skin tint review where I reviewed 4 of my absolute favorite skin tints to see which one was the tippy top of the top, and I'll link that video down below and up in the cards. And that was a really fun one to do because I knew that every day I was testing these products, I was going to have good makeup days. It's just which one gave me the best makeup day. And I thought this was going to be the winner, but I'm not going to spoil it for you to let you know if you haven't seen it yet. If you want to know which one won, you're going to have to go watch it. And then this one is also from Maybelline. It is the Maybelline 30-Hour Foundation, and I got this one because sometimes I'm in the mood for a skin tint light coverage kind of day, and sometimes I want more coverage, and so I got this one to try it out. And I have planned a video where I'm going to test these two head to head and see which one is better, or if there's enough of a difference that you need both, or maybe there's not and you don't. So I do have that plan. Both of these are in this shade 112, and I appreciate that I'm the same shade in the foundations because it makes it so much easier when I need to repurchase. I do have this one on my face today, and it is a Lumi Matte Foundation, which is kind of another way of saying satin, I think. So it's matte, which is great for my combo oily skin, but then there's just a little bit of Lumi or glow to it, so it looks fresh and natural and not flat. There's a little bit of life to my skin, just a little bit of a soft radiance without being glowy. And then when my natural oils come through as the day goes on, it doesn't get over the top into disco ball territory. So I really like this. And if you have combo oily mature skin and you have a little bit more that you want to cover than a skin tint maybe, I think you'll like this too. I didn't have a new concealer, so I just used the Lavish Creamy Concealer from Moira. And then I have a couple of new powders. They're both pink powders. The first one that I used on this side of my face is the L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection and I really like this. It says that it's up to 24 hours blurring and brightening. I tend to get that with the light pink powder. It's supposed to be a brightening effect on your skin. And I think that this does a great job smoothing without getting heavy or cakey. As I was doing my makeup, I first adjusted under my eyes, and then because I was using a blush tint, I didn't want to put it on my face yet. So that came back later and then put it on my face. And I have this one on the right side of my face. And then on the left side of my face, I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Loose Setting Powder. I love this powder in the translucent. It's one of my holy grails. I think I've repurchased it 2 or 3 times. Currently have it in my collection. When it's gone, I will buy it again. But I wanted to try the soft pink shade because, like I said, it's supposed to be brightening and all of that kind of stuff. And so this one, I just spilled it everywhere. So you can see the color there. You definitely get more in this one than you do in this one. So price-wise and value-wise, this one wins hands down. But what do you think about which one wins based on how it looks? I kind of feel like the L'Oreal side is a little bit more blurred and a little bit more brightened. However, I'm also using a blurring primer on that side, so it might be getting some help from the primer. I only have one face with 2 sides, so I couldn't get all of the variables in there, but in using it in actual practice day to day, I do feel like this one might be a little more blurring than this one is, but I like them both. And then I repurchased my Essence 24-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation. This is my favorite powder foundation, holy grail. This is my 4th one, and I would say 4th repurchase, but one of them was gifted to me by my friend Andy, so I've really only bought 3, even though I've used 3, and now I have this one. This is in the shade 02 Champagne, but weirdly, I have used 02 Champagne, 03, whatever that one is, and 05, and I can wear all of them. But 02 Champagne, I think, is my best color, and I use this for a setting powder, for a finishing powder, for a powder foundation, for a blotting powder. I use it for everything, and I love it for every situation that I use it in. Will not be without it. No matter how many powders I have, when I use one up, I'm going to be repurchasing it. Okay, moving on to blush. I have one that I just really don't like at all, and I did use it today, but then I put something else over the top of it because I didn't like how it looked. And that is the e.l.f. Sheer For It Blush Tint. Now you can use this on your lips and your cheeks, and I don't like it on either one. I feel like when I put it on my cheeks and blend, I blend it with my finger generally. Maybe it's better with a brush, but then the brush gets stained or the sponge gets stained, your finger gets stained, and I feel like it's really splotchy and that it does lift my foundation underneath. And I don't like that at all. And I've used it on my lips, but then it's just really wet. It's like putting water on my lips. Even if it does tint my lips and stain them, I don't feel like it lasts all that long, but I don't enjoy the experience of using it. So I think I might just get rid of this, see if I can find somebody who wants to give it a try and pass it along because I don't like it. The one I do like, however, is the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush. And this wasn't a new blush for me, but it was a new shade for me this year. And I love this. It is so, so pretty. If you are looking for a true cool toned blush that is pigmented and just lasts and lasts and lasts and stays cool toned. I've tried so many blushes that look cool toned, but then when I put them on, they pull warm on me. This one doesn't. It stays a really pretty cool toned mauvey orchid kind of color. I absolutely love it. Didn't use this one today. Like I said, I did try to use this, but then after I got my eyes done, I realized that my blush was way too pink for my eyes. And so I used this Focallure Lip and Cheek in D07. It's very moussey and it's such an interesting texture. And it's also a beautiful, warmer pink. It seems like from here, it seems like it's going to be really like terracotta, but it actually has a little bit more pink in it, even though it's a peachy pink. And I think it's just really pretty, and it helped even out the blotchiness that the blush tint left. I have not, however, yet used it on my lips. I really should try that sometime. And then once I had my blush on and settled, I went ahead and put those powders on the rest of my face, just a very light dusting. And then, like I said, I do think that the L'Oreal side looks a little more blurred, but it also might have a little help from the primer underneath. I filled in my brows first with a brow pencil, and then used the 2 new brow products that I purchased in 2025. One of them was not actually new to me. It was a repurchase, and that's the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And I have that on the right side of my face. I have used up and repurchased this more times than I can count. It's a really good shade for me. It has the little fibers in it, so it helps build up my very sparse brows and also helps to hold them in place, but it doesn't give me like sticky brows. I don't have terribly unruly brows, so I'm not sure as far as the level of hold on this one. If you do have unruly brows, if they're going to keep them where you want it, because I think it's a really soft hold. And then, new to me, I tried the Maybelline Super Fluff Brow Mousse, and this is an interesting product because it is kind of a moussey texture, but I also have a little bit of trouble, and it's better for me if I kind of wipe the brush off. Otherwise, I get too much product. The shade is a little bit deeper and it makes my brows just a little bit too dark, but it also kind of leaves these little balls in my brow hairs that I have to then go back with another spoolie and kind of comb through and get rid of those. I did use a spoolie and comb through so that it would lighten the shade just a little bit so that my brows matched a little bit better. I don't know that I would repurchase this one. I pretty much tend to go back and forth between the Wow Brow and the Essence Make Me Brow. Those are the 2 brow gels that I kind of like the best. There's a new one from NYX, I think, that I do want to try. But right now I have enough brow gels that I'm not going to buy one until at least one of these is gone. Moving into the eyes, I got this Kaylee Cream eyeshadow on Amazon, and it's in the shade R01 Bright Nude. And I thought it looked really interesting. My very favorite eye primer of all time was the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. Not their putty cream shadows that they have, but whatever they had before that. And it was really dry and people didn't like it, and I think that's why they got rid of it. But if you warmed it up between your fingers before you put it on your eye, it got so creamy and it was the perfect shade. It didn't crease, kept my eyeshadow on all day long, and I was so sad when I used up the last of it and I couldn't get it anymore. I've always wanted to try the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly, but I'm too cheap to buy it. And so I've been looking for options, and I purchased a lot of them. I probably should have just bought the paint pot because I'm sure I've spent that much and more trying to find one that's like it. However, this one, I can't say if it's like it or not because I've never used it. I really like it. It's very creamy. It's a nice shade, and it will just blank out the discoloration and veining and that sort of thing that I have on my eyelids. Now you can see here that when I went to put my eyeshadow on, I did have to pat out a little bit of the extra product because it did crease. But once I pat it out and set it, then it doesn't continue to crease. And I find that with almost all eyeshadow primers that I use, when I put them on, I leave them sit, I don't put my eyeshadow on right away, and then I go in, tap out the excess, and then I don't have problems with creasing unless it's not a good product. But this one, I'm really happy with it. It was so inexpensive. So if you're looking for an eyeshadow primer that actually has pigment that will cover and also help your eyeshadow last, I really like this one. I set it with my Wet n Wild Brulee. I'm about to need to purchase another one of these because, as you can see, I have a significant pan there. I thought I had another one in backup, but I looked around and I don't, so I need to get one of those ordered. Then for my eyes, I use this e.l.f. 10 Pan in Keep It Ethereal. I really like this eyeshadow palette, and honestly, there are a couple of the bite-sized palettes that I plan to get rid of and declutter because this has that covered. I don't need this and those. One of them is the I Love You a Latte. Pretty much all of the neutrals that are in that one are in this one, other than maybe that deepest brown, but I don't often use that deepest brown anyway. So for this look here, I went in first with this lighter shade in my crease and transition area, making sure to go above the crease so that with my hooded eyes, you can see the shade when my eyes are open. I then deepened up the outer corner with this shade here, and then used 2 shimmers, this lighter one on this end in the outer half of the eye. And I just put these on with my finger, and then I used the lightest shimmer on the inner portion of my eye. And these shimmers are so impactful. I'm really impressed with them. I do end up by the end of the day with just a little bit of sparkle fallout on my cheeks, but I don't mind that. And then the other shadow I have to review is one that sadly I'm not happy with. And that's the e.l.f. Fine as Fleck eyeshadow in Pop Off Pink. I don't find this to be worth it. These are $6 for one shadow, and I've used it maybe twice. It's already hard panned. It's hard to pick up, like hard to get anything on my finger. And there's almost no payoff on the eyes. It's basically glitter, but it's not even shiny. I don't know. I mean, it has a great case. It's got this like little resistance there that pops it closed. It feels like it should be luxurious, but it's not. And I won't buy any more of these. I don't recommend them at all. And now moving into mascaras. I did a very brutal mascara declutter at the beginning of this year, and I've been working my way through the ones that were left. And of the mascaras I started the year with, I only have 2 left. I bought 2 in May, and I don't really like either one of them. Although as time has gone by, I have liked them better, but they're still not favorites. And I really wanted to get a mascara that I absolutely loved using. I'm going to keep using these. I'll use them up. The first one is this e.l.f. Incredicurl. It's a very wet formula, and I didn't like it at all when I first started using it. It was clumpy, it was heavy, it was hard to get on without making a mess, and I ended up looking like I had 3 clumps of lashes. Didn't like it. Had to scrape off so much product in order to use it. It was just too much work. Now that it's dried out a little, it's a little better and it's easier to use, so I will continue to use it. I got it in May. I've got a 6-month shelf life limit on mascaras now in my collection, so I'll use it till November and then it's out of here. Also in May, I bought this Maybelline Colossal Bubble Mascara. I don't like this one either. It has a weird wand, it's twisty, but I think you can see that there's a lot of gloppiness on there, and it leaves that gloppiness on your lashes. It just leaves like chunks. You know how you get those little balls on the ends of your lashes sometimes? This one does that, and I just don't like it. I don't know that it flakes or smudges. This one doesn't really, I don't really have problems with flaking or smudging with this one either, but it takes a lot of work, a lot of scraping off of the wand, a lot of work with the wand to separate the lashes and make sure that it's building up evenly and smoothly and not getting clumpy, and just who's got time for that? So again, bought it in May, November it'll be gone. I will continue to use it, maybe because these other 2 are kind of making me not want to use anything else. And one of them is the Essence Lash Without Limits Tubing Mascara. I have been on the hunt to find a tubing mascara to replace the Thrive Liquid Lash Extension Mascara because I absolutely love it, but I don't love spending $25 for a mascara. However, most of the other mascaras that say they're tubing mascaras might go on like a tubing mascara and not flake or smudge, but they don't come off like a tubing mascara. I still have to use my cleansing balm because they don't just come off with warm water like they're supposed to, or they don't give the same lash effect that the Thrive does. Before I show you me putting this one on, I also want to talk about the Milani Highly Rated Lash Extension Mascara. Okay, you can tell by the name, they're going straight after the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions. And this one, I also really love. Both are true tubing mascaras in that they go on, they wrap around the lashes and make these little tubes. They don't flake or smudge. They stay on until you're ready to take them off. And then all you have to do is with warm water, wet your eye, and then just gently use your fingers and rub down the lashes, and those tubes come off and it's gone. It's so easy. So what I'll do is I'll use my cleansing balm and put that all over my face except on my lashes. And then when I use the water to emulsify the cleansing balm, I take off the mascara, use a microfiber rag to wipe off the makeup, and then do my double cleanse, and my face is clean. So there's no rubbing or pulling on the lashes to get the mascara off. And as I get older and my lashes get more brittle, I appreciate that a lot. So I used the Milani on this eye, and I used the Essence on this eye. So let me show you the Milani wand. It has that Christmas tree wand, just like the Thrive does. It's a little bit flexible, but not so much that when you try to press against your lashes, it just bends. Okay, but it does give a little bit. And it is a silicone bristle, tapers to the end, which I appreciate because it helps me to get in the corner and get those tiny little lashes. The Essence brush is also that same shape, but it's a little bit more flexible and yet still has enough resistance, but it's also a little bit spikier, which I think kind of helps separate the lashes just a little bit better. I feel like the Milani is a wetter formula and I have to work a little bit more with it to get it to not be clumpy. I also feel like the essence is just a much easier, less fiddly process, and I don't have to work quite as hard to get the lashes separated. For both of them, the second coat goes on very well over the first one. It builds up, but I think if I had to pick, I think I like the essence a little bit better. One, it's way cheaper, like a third of the price, but I also think that the Milani is just heavier and that my lashes are straighter. It's kind of dropped the curl. I did curl my lashes before using it, and I feel like the curl has dropped a little on the Milani side. So both of them are good. I would recommend either one of them, but this one I think kind of edges out, and this is the one I would repurchase. And then wrapping up with lips. One of my favorite products that I have purchased this year is this Wet n Wild Lip Stain Liner. This is in the shade I'm Blushing. I'm not sure what other shades that this comes in, but I really want to get more of them. It has this interesting felt tip, like paddle shaped tip, and it really is like drawing with a marker on your lips. I've had this since April. It's not yet dried out. There is a shaker in here to shake it up before you use it. And you can either just line your lips or you can completely fill them in and then put a gloss or something over it. The stain really lasts and it's really pretty and super easy to use. Definitely like this. And then my favorite combo is adding the Wet n Wild Rich Satin Lipstick in Disco Rosé over the top of it. This is a little bit pearly, and I don't like a real frosty lipstick, but I like the level of frost in this. I think it's so pretty. And then just in the center of that, on my bottom lip, I will pop a little bit of the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Gummy Bear. This is such a pretty pink. I've been using this all spring and summer and absolutely love it. The Lifter Glosses are probably my very favorite lip gloss. I've gone through 2 of the Moon. I'm about to finish a Stone, and I love them. I think they're amazing. However, I put this on and realized it was a little too pink for the look that I have on, so I took it off. Before I show you what I actually ended up using today, I want to show you another one of my favorite lipsticks, and that is the new Glossed Lip by Revlon in 005 Glossed Up Rose. And this is one of those tinted balms, and it is so pretty. Again, I have just been using the heck out of this spring and summer. It has such a comfortable feeling on your lips and beautiful shine, beautiful pigment. I really like this formula, and this is the only one I have, but I may look into getting a new shade for fall. The next lip product that I have, I'm a little surprised because I have one in a different shade that I really, really like, but I don't like this one. And that's the e.l.f. Glossy Lip Stain, and the shade I'll put on the screen because I can't read what it is. I think it's Power Up, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the one that I have, which is Mauve something or other, has a great stain. It's glossy when you put it on. The gloss wears away. The stain remains even if you put another like lip gloss or something over it, and it stays for a really long time. But this one does not. And I was disappointed because it's a really pretty nude. And so I thought it would be great for like no makeup days and that sort of thing when you don't want a lot on your lips, but you also don't want to be messing with it and having to reapply all day long. So I don't know if this is just too close to my natural lip tone that when the gloss wears away, you can't see that it's still there. Because if I wipe it off my hand, it looks like there's a stain there, but it does not last on my lips. And that's too bad because I really do like the other one and was hoping I would like this one too. But what I ended up with on my lips is another one of my favorite new tinted lip balms. I used the Maybelline Lifter Liner in Out of Line to line my lips. It's a really nice brown nude shade. And then I used the Maybelline Lifter Glaze Tinted Balm in Caramel Glow to fill in my lips. This is an amazing formula if you like a tinted balm, and it smells amazing. I think Caramel Glow is an excellent name for this because it really does kind of give caramel vibes. And again, it has that balmy texture, a little hint of shine. It is so comfortable to wear. Is it forever lasting? No, it's not intended to be, but it's so easy to use and so easy to wear. And it's one of those that I can reapply without a mirror because it's sheer and you don't have to really worry about getting outside the lines. Very hydrating, very comfortable. Even if I have a different lip combo on, I will often have this in my purse in case I need to reapply because my lips feel dry or something like that later on in the day. This kind of just goes everywhere with me. Really like these. Again, this is the only shade of this I have, but I'm really loving tinted balms right now, and I'm kind of considering picking up another shade or two. And then I have two non-makeup items that I really wanted to share with you. One was the e.l.f. Clean Queen Solid Brush and Sponge Cleaner. I did a review of this when I purchased this in April, and I've continued to use this, and I love this brush cleaner. It is so easy to use. It's really good. It gets your brushes and your sponges super clean, really quick, rinses clean, and I just really like it. It makes the chore of cleaning brushes a little less of a chore. So definitely would recommend that. And then this one is just really random, but I have an e.l.f. eyelash curler and I needed to replace the pad. So I went on Amazon and I just typed in eyelash curler pads and I came up with this pack of, I don't know, 40 or something in here for like $3.99, and I decided to give it a try. I mean, the worst that could happen is it didn't fit and I had to return them, but they do fit and there's all these fun colors. You may be wondering how to know when it's time to change your eyelash curler pad. Well, this one, I think you can see, hopefully, that there is starting to be a little tear or slit in the pad there. And what happens if you don't change that is that when you crimp down, the top part here will push your lashes down into that groove and crimp them rather than softly curl them. And it could end up making your lashes brittle and breaking them off, which we absolutely don't want. So let's show you how easy it is to change this pad. You simply lift out the old one, grab a new one, and I'm going bright pink this time. Slide it in there. You don't have to get it all the way down in, just kind of get it sort of there. And then use, come on. And then use the implement itself to just help seat that all the way in. And there you have it. And when you have 40 of them, there's no excuse to use a slightly worn out eyelash curler pad ever again. And now, as promised, a quick run through of the products that I've purchased, but I haven't yet had a chance to use and review. I'll probably do another speed review at the end of the year, and any of these products that I haven't done a full review on will get updated then. One that I have in here is a backup of my Rokiss Cleansing Balm. I actually have two backups. These went on sale for like $12.97. And so I bought two of them. This is my favorite. I've tried others. This one works. It doesn't make my eyes cloudy or goopy or anything like that. It does a perfect job taking off any makeup that I wear that I want it to take off. Highly recommend. I got the NYX Face Glue Primer. This really does look like a bottle of school glue and looks like Elmer's glue. And its purpose is to keep your makeup on and make it last. I've used it a couple of times, and so far, I really like it. It claims 24-hour. Who wears their makeup for 24 hours? I certainly don't, but I do wear it for 12 or 15 sometimes. And so, yeah, so far, I'm happy with it, but I will give a better update later on. I've only used it a couple times. Coming soon to a YouTube channel near you, a face-off between the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint Stick and the Essence Foundation Stick. I did have to exchange this one for a different shade. I bought the 004 and it was too warm for me. So I returned it and bought the 003. And this one I have in 140, and I think it's a pretty good shade. I haven't used either of these yet, so I have no idea how they're gonna work. And then I've been very intrigued lately about the lash clusters that fit underneath. I had gotten these from Kiss, maybe at Dollar General, and they're pre-glued so that you can use them a few times before they don't work anymore. And I love them, but I was also interested in trying the ones that last like for a week or so. And so I got this kit on Amazon, Salon Perfect Super Natural. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different lengths, and you can see they've got them lined up here. I probably wouldn't use the longest ones, I think. That might be a little more dramatic than I want, although I probably would for stage. And I do have a show coming up in October. But it comes with the glue, which has the glue and then the binder. And I think it also comes with the remover. So I will do a video where I try these and see how they are. Haven't gotten a chance to do that yet, but I intend to. The other thing that I'm planning to do here at home is a lash tint. And I think I'm going to do this before I use these because then I won't need mascara, and a brow tint. I've talked before about how I have very blonde brow hairs and I have to use a tinted brow gel. Otherwise, if I draw them in, then I have color on my skin and these white blonde lashes in front of them, and it's weird. But I would really like to have them tinted so that there would be some color there, even if I don't have makeup on. So I got this tint kit from Amazon, and again, I'm going to try that and I will share the process with you when I do it. Just haven't had time to get to it yet. So if you're interested in those videos, let me know which one you want to see most so that I know kind of how to prioritize things. Let me know down in the comments if there's one product in this video that you'd be interested in trying, which one would it be? If you have a little more time to hang out with me and want to watch another video, I'll put one there to make it easy for you. Or you can head over to my channel page and scroll through my library of videos. I have over 300 of them. So especially if you're kind of new here, there'll be something that you haven't seen yet. I know there are a lot of things competing for your time, and I am very grateful that you chose to spend a little of your precious time with me. Stay confident, stay curious, stay you. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.